Hey guys, welcome to the Vigilant podcast. This is your host, John. Hope you're having a wonderful week this week. Wonderful day. It's currently chillerishy and rainy here in South Louisiana in Lafayette. But I wanted to do a podcast today. There's a... Would you stop over there? It's our cat. When I married my wife, 2 cats were a package deal. So I agreed. And then my sister gave her another cat for Christmas last year. And so we have 3 cats. I'm slightly allergic. Ask me how life's going. It's going pretty good. Anyways, but yeah, I wanted to sit down and do a podcast. We're trying to get regular content up for y'all and everything, so I hope it's going to be a good one. But yeah, so what's been on my mind lately? Well, let's see. All right, so there's been a lot going on lately. With me, it's mainly a lot of work, but I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a while, and something that I've never done by myself necessarily, and I am going hunting. That's right. I'm going to go during the week to some public land here in Louisiana, and I've hunted several times, but I've never harvested anything yet. And, I've mainly gone with, out with a rifle or something. And it's been slim pickings as far as all that goes. But I'm pretty excited about this because I'm going to do something I've pretty much never done before, which is 1, go myself, 2, hunt public land, and 3, plan to shoot with my compound bow. So that's going to be pretty great. I'm pretty excited about it. I've been practicing with my bow, and I'm pretty accurate at 20 yards for sure, and practiced closer distances a little further, but I'm sighted in at 20, and I'm pretty dead on. I'm in the kill zone, so I'm figuring it's going to be good, but I'm not necessarily going to go and get in a tree and do all that type of stuff. I think it would be good, but it's just not where I'm at right now. So I'm going to start off a little bit more difficult, which is kind of more of a spot and stalk type of thing, I think. I'm going to go out and go to this public land. I've looked online at it and looked at some maps. I've got that Onyx Hunt app. And that's very helpful. It shows you all the private property lines and the public lines and trails and all that type of stuff. Shows you, ground elevation and things like that. So it's going to be pretty fun. I went yesterday. Obviously, today is probably not yesterday for you, but it's yesterday for me. Picked up a few things. So I'm not planning to necessarily bring an actual pop-up blind. I'm not planning to get into a stand or anything. However, I did buy this, it's actually this thing right here, this covering here, so that if I do find somewhere where I feel like I'm just going to sit here and see what comes out, so I've got that ability to do that and still be able to carry light in my pack. So it's going to be, I think, 80s on the day. It's going to be in the low 80s. I think 82 is the high for the day that I'm going to go, and 60 is the low. So I'm pretty much just going to get up as early as I can and head out there. It's not too far of a drive for me to get where I want to go. And I'm just going to load up, go, show up, and get out in the woods. And something about me, you got to know whether I kill something or not. I'm going to enjoy it. I just like being out in the woods. it's just peaceful for me. I really like being in the woods. So anyways, I'm going to get out there. I packed up yesterday. I bought a few things for hunting specifically. So I got my safety orange. Picked up this little thing here for covering if I find somewhere I just want to sit and chill. But I mean, this is a big area of public land. I don't think I'm going to get lost. One, have a pretty good sense of direction. Two, I know how to do a little bit of land nav. And I've got a compass, so one way or the other, even if I'm going the wrong way, I can probably at least find a road. So anyways, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I mean, this particular place that I'm going to go, it's like just a little bit less than 12,000 acres of public land to go hunt, and some big deer have been pulled out of there and everything, big bucks. And bucks will be fun, but I want the meat, The antlers are great, but they're not going to feed me and my family. So that's mainly what I want to go for, is just to get some meat to get processed and put into my freezers and be ready, be prepared. So that's going to be real fun, I think. My pack's like 18 and a half pounds, 19 pounds at most, and I packed it all down yesterday. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff in that thing. Really, it's like, all right, so I'm going to have this. I got this going to be tied up on the side. I've got some gloves, got some medical gear, fire gear. If I were to get stranded out there, I could, do something. I'll bring me couple of little things of food for calories and all. And I got a tarp. I'm bringing some tarp poles and some paracord and some rope and a couple other things. I mean, I've got a knife, hatchet. Well, if you know me, I've got a few knives in that pack. Two is one and one is none, right? But anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be good. Like I said, just being out in the woods and, moving around out there is going to be fun for me. But I do plan to track a deer down, find it, stalk it, wait for it, do whatever I got to do to get it down, get it gutted and cleaned and processed. And yeah, I'll probably take this, my first deer. It'll be my first deer. Let's be honest. I'm in my low 30s and, like I said, never harvested a deer. So yeah, I'm going to take it to get processed and all. And, I'm actually going to record the whole thing. I'll probably just record though with a GoPro, a chest rig GoPro. So, but anyways, I do, however, I'm going to take it somewhere to get processed, but I do plan on starting to obtain all the gear that I would need to process myself, so that I'm more self-sustaining, and it's something I can teach my wife. It'll be something that I can eventually, when I have kids, I can teach my kids to do, and so mainly so that we can be more self-reliant. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure that I'm all set. I've been practicing, like I said, with my bow. Probably bring a pistol with me. Not probably, but I'll bring a pistol with me just to be on the safe side. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm pretty pumped. I've told a couple of people about it, and like, where are you going? Where are you going? I mean, here's the thing. I don't get mad about this at all, but when you're waiting on someone to invite you and it doesn't happen, a lot of times you might think you're screwed, like you're going to have no opportunity to hunt. And that's kind of what my mindset was for a good while, because it just didn't dawn on me. I feel like sometimes I can be a little slow, but it didn't dawn on me that there's public land. And the deal was with that, though, is I've never hunted public land. And so I had to do a lot of research. What does that look like? Watching videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of like the Hunting Public channel on YouTube. I mean, that's basically all they do is hunt public land, and they're getting good deer, good bucks, good does, and it's like, why not? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I've done a lot of research. Um, I've done a lot of research to see what the rules are, rules and regulations, what you can and can't do, all those types of things. This particular place that I'm going to go, apparently you have to like go through this weigh-in station or something, let them know that you're going in, and then when you're coming out, if you have a deer with you, you have to stop, let them weigh it, and do all this type of stuff or whatever. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I'm learning. It's definitely a good learning experience for me. And with my pack too, I mean, yeah, I'm probably a little overly prepared. I mean, like I said, I'm at like 18 and a half, 19 pounds. If I was more confident with that, having done this before and had experience, I probably would carry less, but I just want to be a little bit more comfortable in what I'm carrying out there with me. So literally, my main goal with it all though was to make sure that I was as light as possible, but comfortable enough that everything I had, like if I needed to survive for a night, I could. So I prepared for everything. That's why I brought a tarp. I'll have some food. I'll have water, all those types of things. So, and really, I didn't add water yet. Probably when I add water, I'll probably be at 20 pounds because I'm just going to carry a few bottles of water with me. There are some water sources out there. So if I need to get some of the iodine pills or whatever they are to throw in some water, or even to boil water, if I've got that ability to do. So it's not a huge deal. So, anyway, so yeah, it's just mainly going to be that pack with all that stuff on it, and my bow. I'm not going to carry it in the case out there with me, but I mean, basically, I'm figuring as soon as I get to the tree line, I'm going to load one up and start looking for sign. And I have a plan, like I said earlier too. I've got a plan on where I'm going to hunt. And not just the actual public land location, but where in that public land location that I'm going to hunt. I've got everything mapped out. I've seen where the ridge lines, where the land elevation is and all of that. And so this one particular spot is going to be, I'll probably, and look, I'm kind of going all out with this. I feel like the area that I'm going to go is a place where not a lot of other hunters they just might not frequent. I'm not saying they don't go or wouldn't go, but they might not frequent because it's going to be pretty deep into the woods, like where the trail ends, where I'm going to park and all that stuff to get out where I want to go. It's pretty deep in there. I wouldn't be surprised if I go in 2 to 3 miles. And, I've had a couple of people ask me like, hey, if you go in 2 to 3 miles, how are you going to get the deer out? Vigilance. I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to gut it. You'll lose a few pounds on the deer doing that, and then just pull the joker out, whether it's by rope. If I can get it over my shoulders, I might even do that for easier trekking. It just depends on what the actual landscape is like and what's going to be a little easier on my body. But I mean, I ain't the most fit person in the world, but if I'm determined, there's really nothing going to stop me. I've kind of always been that way. I don't like to quit. I don't quit. It aggravates me if I feel like, or if I do have to quit something for any reason, whether it's my fault, somebody else's fault, or nobody's fault at all. I don't like quitting. I like to persevere. I like to press on. I like to finish the job, finish the task. So yeah, I mean, Even if I got to pull it out 2-3 miles, whatever, it's worth it to me. I'll do it. And it's going to be good. And my plan for the deer too is, okay, yeah, I'll have all the meat processed, and I want to utilize the deer as much as possible. And I'm still learning about a lot of things when it comes to all this. So I want to, get the meat processed, everything that you can salvage on it. I want to process it all. I want to keep the skin. I want to do some tanning, and I've been doing some research on how to do that. There's a bunch of different ways apparently you can do it, but most important thing is just to clean the back of that skin off real good. But I want to save the skin, make blankets out of it, or make a throw rug out of it, or whatever, and eventually get to where I learn how to make clothing out of it and things like that. So really, those are the only two things I know about at the moment. However, I do want to learn and know any other uses for a deer's body. So, like, if the bones can be used for something, I want to use them for that purpose if I can. And whatever, so it's all a learning process for me. So, and I'm excited to do it. I love this type of stuff. So, it's a bit different than just going out into the woods and running around. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. Let me get a sip of coffee. Anyways, so, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be real good. I don't want to keep this podcast too long. I've got a pretty busy day today, but there was just some things that's been on my mind lately, and I talk about it with some of my friends and some of my peers, and we're kind of all on the same page about it. And let me be real here. I'm not one that's big on politics. I just, it's just too much to keep up with, right? I don't like it. It's aggravating. Politics, in my mind, it's like the majority of the time, if somebody's lips are moving and they're in politics, they're most likely lying, manipulating, deceiving, whatever, in some way or another. I'm not saying that there's not good politicians out there that try to do their best and try to make things happen that's good and that's right, and that's morally good and right. But I just, especially with everything happening in the world, man, I just, it gets aggravating for me. And I have very low to no tolerance for drama, for attitudes and things like that. And this world has gotten crazy. It's gotten ridiculous, right? I remember when I was a kid, it wasn't no big deal to go play outside. Wasn't no big deal to go walk to school. I did go to public school for a little while. I think kindergarten through fourth grade. I went to public school. Or even I say that, if you don't know, I was homeschooled the rest of the time and then got my GED later on and yada, yada, yada. But, back in those days, and it really doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but you could do those things. You could play outside without so much worry of if something bad's going to happen. Is somebody going to try to come steal the kids, or is, whatever. It just wasn't that way then, or at least not as bad then as it is now. And there's a lot of reasons that it happens. People are not mentally sound as they should be, or as we would hope people would be. I really think that it would be great if we could be more at ease in our own community. But it's a shame that you can barely trust your own neighbor a lot of times. Now, thankfully, my neighbors, I they're good guys. I believe one of them was a vet, or is a vet. He never was a vet, but I believe he's a veteran. And we don't talk a whole lot, but he's just kind of one of those good old boys. Let me rephrase that for those that might hear that. And you know what? I ain't even gonna do that crap. Never mind. If you don't know what I mean by that, there's negative, comments and all that. What I mean by that is he's just a good guy. Like he keeps to his own. He does his own thing. He's an old guy, and but he's a good guy. We look out for each other. Same with my other neighbor on the other side of me. We look out for each other, and there's times if I'm going out of town, I let both of my neighbors know because I can trust them that much. Now I do have security cameras around my house, but I do trust them that much with confidence, knowing that if there's something going on around my house and I'm not there, they're going to call me about it. And so I talk to them and say, hey, look, I'm leaving on this day at this time, and I'll be back on this other day at this time. And they do the same with me. If they're going out of town, they'll call, or they'll just walk over and say, hey, John, we're going out of town. We'll be gone for a couple of days. If you can just keep an eye on the place, sure, no problem. Happy to do it. And there was even one incident, not really an incident, but one thing happened a few months ago. My neighbor on one side of me, he called me. He's an old man. He said, John, I need you to do me a favor. I said, well, what you got? He said, well, my dog Sally is over there. She's barking up a storm, waking up the neighbors. And I was wondering if you could go over there and see what's going on. My wife don't want to go outside. She don't know what's happening. She's a little nervous about going outside by herself. I said, not a problem, buddy. I'll go over there right now. So I go over there. I start walking around. I'm clearing everything. It's up. All it was a possum. And look, we do kind of get them a little bit bad over here. They're all over the place. I saw a video not too long ago of my pastor. He, I think on their ring door bell thing, he got a motion sensor, so he just opened the door, see what was going on. Big old possum right there. He startled him, and he kicked at it, and it ran away, and all that. And so anyways, they're all over the place. But anyways, so I went over there, I saw about the possum, handled the situation as we typically do around here. And it was all good. He called me the next day. Hey, man, thank you so much. My wife is thankful that you went and was a good neighbor to see what was going on. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they mean by being neighborly, is to help one another. Your neighbors are part of your community. And so why wouldn't you help them, right? My family lives in Texas. And first, you got to know my dad to know that he's a talker, right? He's good at talking. I'm learning. I've always been more comfortable not talking so much, at least that I can recall. But I'm getting more into it. But anyways, so they have a nice sized piece of land, and and my dad, though, in this particular area, my dad grew up in. So he already knows a lot of people from over the years. And so he knows the neighbors around him, even the neighbors that live a mile or two down the road, or even if there's property right there, but those landowners don't live on that property, he still knows who the owners are. And I think that's good. Reason being is if something happens on that landowner's property that's a neighbor to my folks, my dad can call and say, hey, this is going on your property. I can help you, or you might want to come see about it or whatever. And just the other day, my dad was telling me, the neighbor's cows got over into our property, broke the fence. The fence is broke. So I went and helped him fix the fence. right? And so that's what you're supposed to do in being a good neighbor. That's how you're supposed to. That's part of being productive in your community. So I think that it's a lost art, maybe. Lost art, maybe not the correct phrasing or term for it, but you know what I mean. I know of many people that don't get along with their neighbors at all. They don't get along with their neighbors at all, and it's for one reason or another. And that's in the city limits, and that's out of city limits, right? If you don't get along with your neighbors, it kind of makes you uneasy to go out of town, depending on what the situation is or why y'all don't get along so much. So I know of somebody. Anyways, you just need to be a good part of your community. Do your part. Be a good neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? Sorry, I get music stuck in my head every once in a while when I think about things. So being a positive influence in your community is very important. And I'll be honest, I don't know personally very well a lot of the neighbors in my neighborhood, a lot of the people in my neighborhood. I've spoke with a lot of them to some degree, whether it's just, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we live right there, and we like the neighborhood or whatever. And so, I mean, I think just developing some sort of relationship, just showing your face every once in a while. If you see a neighbor, wave, even if they're 3-4 houses down from you. This is important. Even if they're 2-3-4 houses down from you, one way or the other, wave at them. Or if they're right there by the road and you can safely, stop, roll down your window and just say, hey, how you doing? It's important. Here's a good reason why. A couple of months ago, I didn't have video security systems or anything like that in or around my house. And one of our neighbors from down the road, a little old lady, she's very nice. I've not talked to her very much though. Twice. And this one encounter that I'm fixing to talk about is that second time. I was outside mowing, weed eating, doing my usual duties. I love taking care of my yard, y'all. I just, when I say I love mowing, I love a freshly cut yard. I guess it's a guy thing. Hold on. B camera died. And B camera is back up and running. I took a quick little coffee break. I say that, I just took a sip of my coffee when I sat right back down. Wonderful. Anyways, so I was outside mowing my yard one day, and I saw her talking to one of my other neighbors, and then she walked across the street and talked to another neighbor. I said, well, she's up to something. I said, well, if it's important for me to know, she'll come talk to me about it. So she did. She comes up to me. I'm weed eating, so I turned my weed heater off, and we chatted, small talk for just a second. She said, hey, how you doing? Whatever. I said, okay, great. And she pulls up her phone. She said, I just wanted to let you know something that I caught on my security system just last night. I said, okay. So I take a look at it, and there's this guy walking down the road. Then he walks into their neighbor's yard, pulls on their door handles, trying to break in and stuff or whatever. And I was like, wow, I really appreciate you coming to show me this. But I told her, I said, I'm very thankful that you came to show me this and let me know what's going on. And I have a couple of friends that work on the sheriff's department here in our local area. So I shot them a text. I was like, hey, look, if you're ever near my neighborhood, would you mind just come drive around just so people could see your vehicle? And I explained to him what happened, or explained to them what was going on, what I saw. So every once in a while, I'll get a text, hey, passing by your house now. I'll go out there and talk to them every once in a while. I think it's kind of funny. I often wonder what my neighbors are like. Oh, something's going on at John's house. We got the sheriff's over there, but that's all right. I like seeing the police and the sheriffs riding around doing their jobs, or the deputies, not the sheriffs. There's only one sheriff. But anyways, so yeah, after that happened, I went, got security systems, video, all that stuff set up around my house. And, it didn't scare me. It might have made my wife a little nervous, but I told her, I said, no, we're not going to be scared. We're going to be prepared. And you can't do much better than that. I mean, the deal is, if something happens at all, first of all, you are your own first responder. I think Phil Kraft and them came up with that, but it's true. You cannot depend on police or medical or fire agencies to come help you immediately in any given situation. And I'm not saying that out of, they can't do their job. That's not what I'm saying at all. They can definitely do their job. But if you need help with something right then and there, you're the only person that can most likely help yourself. But if you're not prepared, and this is why I said most likely, if you're not prepared, you have nobody. You can't even depend on yourself to get yourself or your family out of a bad situation, right? What do you mean, John? Okay, let's give a couple of scenarios. I won't even bring up a self-defense one, right? That should be kind of obvious. You should be, I'm going to bring it up anyways, apparently. But you should prepare for self-defense. If you're not preparing, you're doing it wrong because you're not doing nothing at all, right? We go to school, we learn things to prepare, try to do our best to get prepared for the world once we become an adult. And really, too, if I'm going to talk about school at all, they don't teach everything you should know about the world, and they're trying to incorporate a bunch of crap you don't need to know. My wife and I have talked about it several times. I mean, I think we're pretty much set on we're going to homeschool and figure that part out, because I want my kids to have a social life so that they know how to get along with their peers, people around them, people over them and under them. But if schools are going to be teaching stupid crap, I ain't going to have it. I have no tolerance for that crap at all. Anyways, probably talk about all that in another podcast, but what was I saying? Oh, you're your own first responder. Goodness gracious. I get wound up about stuff, and then my mind goes 1,000 different directions. But anyways, you're your own first responder. So if you're in a scenario where you need to defend yourself, if you have not practiced in hand-to-hand combat at all, if you have not practiced self-defense with a firearm, self-defense with a knife, self-defense just running and how to get away, self-defense and hiding, that's part of it. At least to me it is. Because the best situation to be in is to not be there at all when it's happening, right? I don't want me or my wife or anybody that I know to have to take a life. However, if you're going to come at me and mine, I'll just leave that right there. Medical. If you're not preparing yourself to learn how to take care, like just knowing a little bit about biology or the physical, the human body, right? How it operates, how it works. I'm not saying you got to have a degree in it. You don't have to be a doctor in it, but get some training on how to stop the bleed, how to use a tourniquet, how to do CPR, how to handle somebody else that might be having a seizure, what to do with them in their bodies and how to help them not hurt themselves, right? If you don't know how to handle a medical situation that somebody might have. If they're choking, how to do the Heimlich maneuver, or whatever it is. I'm probably saying that wrong because there's another maneuver that's a self-defense thing. Anyways, I get them confused. But I know how to do them. Even if I don't remember what they're called exactly, I know how to do them. But you're of no use to yourself, your family, or your community if you don't know how to stop the bleed, put on a tourniquet, what to do in a fire burn situation, if somebody gets burned, how to address those types of injuries. If you come up on a car wreck, oh man, I wish I could help them. I don't want to say I wish I could help anybody. If I come up on a car accident or a house is on fire and there's people out needing help or whatever, I want to know, I can stop and help because I know what to do. I see the situation. I'm situationally aware, and I go help the people that need help, right? If you can't help other people, then most likely you're not able to help yourself. Let's be honest. You're probably not good at anything. I said it. You can be mad. That's all right. Comment how mad you are down below. But I get concerned, right? Even fire safety, right? Fire burns. It does not feel good. My idea of fire, when it comes like if a house is on fire or whatever, what happened? I mean, yeah, you need to learn how to treat burns, how to stop a fire, right? That's one thing I just talked to my wife about not too long ago is we need to put fire extinguishers in each of our vehicles. Never thought about it until several days ago or whatever. Why? If one of our vehicles catches on fire, we could potentially put the fire out before it makes a bad situation worse. What if we come up on a car wreck, right? Nobody else is around or there's people standing around not doing anything, and that aggravates the tar out of me. But you pull up, there's a wreck, car's starting to catch on fire, and you see a flame, there's gas everywhere. What do? Grab the dang fire extinguisher out of the vehicle, put the fire out, and once the fire is out, be ready for it to spark up again just in case. It's not rocket science. Learn what to do. There's books about this type of stuff. I was really impressed. I'll to probably talk about it in another video, but because of this hunting trip or whatever, I wanted a small medical package thing, medical gear to carry with me to stay as light as possible. So, I mean, it's got all the scrapes and scratches stuff in it, but it's also got stop the bleed gear in it, pads and gauze and all those types of things. Some EMT shears, different stuff like that. And it was like $45, right? Now I see a lot of these kits out there that are $200, $300, $400 for like these great, awesome kits that's full of everything that you need, right? If you don't know how to use them, it's pointless. It's pointless. Depending on the situation, I hate saying that at all, but depending on the situation, it might be more than just a scratch, right? It might be more than just a rash. Like, it just befuddles me when people just don't think about how and in ways they need to be prepared. But anyways, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, so some of these kits I see online, they're like $200, $300, $400 for these kits full of everything. And if you get these big kits and you don't know how to use anything, then that's in them, then it's pointless to have. But I'm sure in these big nice kits that they have what you need to learn about, maybe a little booklet in it or anything like this. This medical kit that I got the yesterday at Academy, it was like $45. I was like, okay, this has stop the bleed gear in it, even Band-Aid stuff or whatever, like all the small stuff, and that's great. It's got shears. It's got anything that I would need, like if I got shot accidentally or I came upon somebody that got hurt or shot or a broken arm even, I've got all the gear with me to be able to handle that type of situation. Well, I was, as you should do with any type of kit that you get, especially when it comes to medical or fire or whatever. I opened up the little kit, started going through it. What's in this? What does it have? Where is everything? And even on one of the tags on the outside of this thing, it shows you this area of this pack has this has this has this, it's in this pocket, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I'm opening it up more, and I find there's a book in the back of this thing, right? I'm like, what's this book for? I start going through it, and it's showing you all the different types of things that the kit that you just bought can help you mitigate. So it talks about how to stop the bleed, what to do with a spider bite. This book goes through and has illustrations in it of what knots to tie if you're having to shim up somebody's leg. I use shim up or whatever. It's probably not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. Broken leg, how to get that thing set up, and it shows you the knots that you can tie. I mean, it's all there. Like, there's no excuse for me to open up this little medical pack and say, okay, here's the situation that I'm in. Or hopefully I wouldn't have to do this, and hopefully anybody else wouldn't have to do this, because this is kind of what I'm talking about, preparation, right? I started reading this book already, but essentially, if I needed to, or if somebody that has this particular kit needed to, they could open up this book and say, broken leg, page 95. Turn over to page 95 and have a little breakdown of, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to look for. This is how you set up the splint, blah, 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 blah. And you'd be good to go. Hopefully, though, you've already read it before you even got out there, right? Hopefully you've read it and said, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that, or whatever. Keep the book with you, though, after you read it. Even if you've got a photographic memory or whatever, keep the book with you just in case, right? If you or somebody you're helping is got their life or your life is on the line, you don't want to take a chance of messing up giving medical care and cost you or that person their life. Preparation. H. I'm joking. Maybe that helps you. I don't know. I get passionate about this stuff, man. And it's funny because I've got notes sitting right here on my computer, and everything that I've talked about is not anything that's in these notes at all, except maybe a little bit about community. That's kind of going to always be, in the forefront of my brain. Anyways, just get prepared if you're not prepared. My wife, for example, the other day, she was like, she's afraid of bridges. Okay. She's afraid to drive over big, tall bridges. And that's something we're working on, helping her to not be afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to stay afraid. It's okay to be in fear in a way. I don't like saying it that way. How I said it earlier is better. It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to be in fear. That boils it down for me. And we could talk about fear and those types of things another time. But she's afraid of bridges, and we're working on that. And so we got to talking about it a little bit one day, and she was like, I really want a window. I want a way to break the window. If I were to drive off a bridge and get into water or anything like that, I want a way to break the window. I said, perfect, babe. Pulled out a window breaker of my daily pack. I said, here you go. She said, what's this? I said, it's a window breaker. I said, this is how you use it, and yada, yada, yada. She said, awesome, thank you so much. That meant the world to her on top of that, right? And she feels more confident driving. It might be a little, it might be a lot. I don't know. But she did tell me, she said she feels better driving over bridges because now she feels more prepared that if she did get into a negative situation driving over a bridge, that if she needed to break the window, she's got the tool to do it, right? What's the other thing? She said, babe, I need to learn how to put on a tourniquet. Perfect. Got some tourniquets coming in so that she can carry them with her, and I'll be teaching her how to do those things, how to use a tourniquet and everything. But I said, well, babe, why do you want a tourniquet? She's like, well, in my mind, if I go off of a bridge, glass might break or something, and I might bleed, so I would want to be able to stop the bleed. I said, perfect. And I mean, obviously, yes, I know why she would want a tourniquet. What is a tourniquet for? To stop the bleed. But I wanted to make sure her mindset was correct on it, right? So she's got a tourniquet or two coming in so that she could be prepared for that. And then I was impressed with her with this. That's why I love my wife, because she thinks. Sometimes she thinks too much, but hey, it is what it is. She's going to learn how to put an actual tourniquet on. And then she told me, she said, babe, I want to learn how to put a tourniquet on out of other material. I'm like, this is freaking awesome, right? My wife's wanting to learn how to be more prepared. She's wanting to learn how to be more vigilant in her daily life. So, I'm gonna show her how to do all that stuff. I'm gonna show her easy ways. I'm gonna show her harder ways that she could do it, right? Using things that she has on her in her daily life. So with that, she's even less afraid of driving over bridges because she's more prepared. Does that make sense? The more prepared you are, the less afraid you are. Sometimes being more prepared is what's going to get people out of their fear. That's probably one of the greatest lines I've said in this whole thing. The more prepared you are, the less afraid you are. That should be a social media post. I'm telling you what. So get prepared. Learn things. There's courses that you can join. I'm sure there's free courses that you can go to in your local community. Maybe your local hospital or clinics, they'll do maybe some sessions on how to stop the bleed, how to do CPR, how to address someone going through a seizure or even a stroke, different things like that. I mean, that if you can find, you get online, go to google.com, #Google, and search on there, medical classes in my local area, or, how to get CPR certified or whatever. Just get on there and be diligent in your research, do search, and find where you can learn these things. Even with self-defense, even with fire. If there's nobody that does any of these classes on this type of stuff, here's what you do. Go to your local sheriff or the police department and ask somebody there, I want to learn more about self-defense. I know in our local area, I believe it's the sheriff's office, once or twice a month does free training, free self-defense training for civies, for, the regular population. I say regular, I don't know how else to call it or title it. But, I'm a civvy, I'm a regular person, whatever. Not a title. It is what it is. But they teach self-defense. There's a hospital around here that teaches medical things. So you can learn how to do these things for free. You can even get more knowledgeable if you can find paid courses that you pay for to learn these types of things, right? And really, I would suggest save up $100 or $200 and pay for a course, because most likely, if it's something you're paying for, you're going to get more out of it than you would the course that's free, right? It's an investment. Invest into yourself. Invest into yourself and into your preparation. Invest into your vigilance, right? There's many things that you can do to be more prepared. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to be more prepared, right? There are, just in your situational awareness alone, that will help you. Head on a swivel. Stay alert, stay alive, stay vigilant. That's the main thing. If you don't know what's going on, I often laugh. I think to myself, if there's somebody watching these security cameras, watching me going in and out of places, they must think I'm weird if they don't know any better of what I'm actually doing. Because I'm constantly head on a swivel. I'm looking at what vehicles are on my way in and what vehicles are on my way out, what's changed in my surroundings. If I'm going into a grocery store, I'm looking around, who's around, is there good or bad things going on? Is everything just calm, whatever. I go in, head still on a swivel when I'm inside. I don't feel safe just because I'm behind walls. I feel safe because I'm being situationally aware. I'm looking at everybody, watching everybody, not in a bad or negative way. And on top of that, I'm not always looking for threats. I'm looking for people who might need help. Old lady needs help carrying the groceries. I'll go help her. No big deal. I'll set my stuff down if I haven't paid for it already. I'll set my stuff down somewhere out of the way, and I'll go help. If I come back, all my stuff's gone. Oh, well, lost some time, but I'll just go pick it all back up down the aisles and get out of here. Good to go. No big deal. So it's not always threats, but how to help. How to help my local community. And that's what you need to do. And you are nothing good to yourself, your family, or your community if you're not prepared, if you're not situationally aware. It's saddening, man. I wonder all the times that people needed help. I get aggravated when I've seen videos of people maybe get into a car wreck or whatever the case may be. Somebody is on the ground hurt, and then there's like a circle of people just looking, just watching. You mean to tell me there's not one person out of 10, 15, 20 people lying around in a circle that can do anything? And then all they want to do is come up and ask, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? The person is bleeding on the ground. They've riding their motorcycle. Somebody smashed them. Number one, do not take that helmet off. You make that person lay there, stay there, keep them still till the EMT arrives. Address any, bleeding or anything like that might be happening. Anything especially severe. Don't move that neck, though. My God. But not one person could help because they didn't know what to do. They weren't prepared. Don't be a know-not-what-to-doer. Be a doer. Look, I've already gone much longer on this than I intended to. I didn't even do anything on my notes or anything. But, look, just get prepared, guys. And be prepared. Be ready for anything. Stay vigilant. Look, I can't wait for this hunting trip. I say trip, but this hunting thing that I'm fixing to do this coming week in my current real time. That's going to be fun. Like I said, I'm going to record the whole thing. It's all going to be mainly on a GoPro chest mount, so there might be things that you don't see that you want to see. I'm figuring this recording thing out as I go, so, don't hate, appreciate. Anyways, look, like, comment, subscribe. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Share it on your social media feeds. I'm pumped. I love this stuff. Zach and Brady love this stuff. We've got some more recording scheduled that we're going to be doing this coming week as well. And I think Zach and Brady both have some things they're pretty excited to share with you, talk to you about, and hopefully knock out a few videos as well. So anyways, be good. Don't get in no trouble you can't get yourself out of. And stay vigilant. See you soon.